Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the sex, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We're covering the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We're doing an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today is going to be absolutely awesome, guys, because it is Labor Day. It's the end of the summer, the unofficial end of summer. To me, the summer is from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Everything else is not. And that is kind of way the markets kind of trade. You know, you do see a lot of volume drop off around Memorial Day, and Labor Day, you do see it kind of pick up. And that's what we're kind of expecting for tomorrow and the rest of the week. Today is going to be, markets are closed, so it's going to be very sideways bullshit, the kind of what we're dealing with right now. We do have Bitcoin over 109, so that's really healthy. We will see, you know, when the big boys get their desks tomorrow, some of them back from vacation and stuff like that. So that's going to be a big deal. I think tomorrow is really going to be telling for what happens in September. We do have a lot going on macro-wise. This week, we do have the jobs numbers for last month, which is going to be really telling as well. Powell seems to be leaning more towards jobs right now than inflation. But we do have two key inflation data, which is the 10th and 11th of this month. And then that September 17th day, where Jerome will either cut rates or not cut rates, and then he will speak for about 30 minutes, and what he says in that could be telling for what happens in October. But what we need a rate cutting cycle. So we don't just need one rate cut, we need multiple. That is why I think we'll end up exploding going into the latter part of this year. And, you know, we do have a lot going on as well in our own ecosystem. The BRC 2.0 is minting right now. There's a token called GameFi that is flying the sats per VByte up to like 12. Haven't seen it this high in a long time since I've seen sats per VByte this high. So that's exciting to see as well. And on top of that, just a lot going on all over the place, especially the main topic of today is Binance dumping. But it's not just Binance. It's a lot of these bigger exchanges trying to liquidate you. We're going to get into that as well. So let's get the show started. Without further ado, let's bring in my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling on this Labor Day?
I feel a little, the energy's there, but it's kind
Yeah.
of, it's Labor Day, right? Like everybody's kind of, I'm sure there's a lot of people, if they're listening, they're just eyes closed with their phone on, listen to the audio. There might be a little hungover from having some good barbecues yesterday. It rained down south over here in Texas, but I don't know about other parts of the country. But with that being said, it is going to be a little lethargic, in my opinion, in terms of the price action, because the trading companies aren't going to be working today, right? And
Yeah.
so but with that being said, I think today's show is really going to get into some of these things that are probably that are happening behind the scenes, and then also maybe what to kind of focus on heading into this last stretch of the year, because I do agree with you. I do think that we do have multiple rate cuts to finish out the year and things turn around, but we're still probably a good month and a half away from that, in terms of like other alt ecosystems and environments getting bullish as well. So right now is just kind of a good time to just gather your thoughts, gather your focus, and put your game strategy together to finish the year.
Yeah, man, 100%. Let's jump into some really cool stuff here, which is the first thing, which is Trench Kitty staking vaults are now live on Fluid. So absolutely awesome. Really excited for this. So we have 2 million staked already. It just opened up like a few hours ago. No one really knows about this yet. So if you do have some TK, there's 35 million TK valued around $6,000 up for grabs to whoever wants to get in here. So that's up to you guys, man. If you guys want to bridge from Solana, or if you just want to stake what you got, I highly recommend this. And right now, let's just say the stops. I mean, these guys are going to get 16 million each of these wallets, because there's a max of 1 million per wallet. You can do multiple wallets though, no problem, if you have multiple TK and you want to get a part of this 35 million TK token. So really, really cool. TK has been kind of not doing great on Solana. We are still seeing the bridge being very active of people bridging from Bitcoin to Solana. So we're kind of waiting for that. But the Bitcoin side is still sitting at 141,000. Not much people listing over here. You are seeing 150,000 and stuff like that. That was the airdrop and stuff like that. But Trench Kitty community is definitely still growing at 87 members now, 226 followers. So I think everything's looking up, man. It feels like we have bottomed here.
Yeah, I think this kind of goes to show and improves our thesis about Bitcoin holders and Bitcoin ecosystem holders and Solana holders. But it is what it is. They are different in nature in terms of the ecosystems and the chains. But it's pretty cool. Look, we did something really cool in terms of innovation, being able to bridge back and forth. People have used it both ways, right?
Yeah.
So two things I'm still going to continually say is, spread the word about the Trench Kitty X account. Make sure you're following that, and also the community as well. You need to grow that. That needs to get over 100, and also create your own little groups within the community. I think that is another way to expand, the knowledge of it, right? But shout out to Fluid Tokens, our guy Raul over there, being able to just, so quick. We've always, boasted about how quick him and his dev team is, and
Yeah,
they prove it here. They were able to, and they could have had this probably live last Thursday. We just wanted to, schedule things out properly. And so shout out to him. Appreciate, many thanks to Raul and Fluid Tokens. Check out Fluid Tokens for, staking vaults, for also, being able to
airdrop.
get airdrop tool and stuff like that. And they support Cardano as well for staking and being able to earn over there. That's their biggest thing.
100%. Let's jump into our main topic of today. Binance dumping millions. 2.1 billion token unlocks in September. And will the market flip green? We're gonna head into that first part of that. So I'm gonna read through this and then I'll get your opinion on it. But there's a lot going on with this. So Chainmind, he's somebody I follow on X. He has 127,000 followers. He put out this thread that really got me thinking. So Binance is secretly dumping millions of crypto. They sold almost 2 billion worth of ETH to liquidate shorts. Binance routed billions in ETH and SOL through Wintermute. OnChain shows huge flows right before price swings. Kraken and Coinbase wallets joined in. Millions funneled into the same Wintermute accounts, fueling suspicion. ETH and SOL sell-offs followed. Futures saw 100 of millions in forced liquidations. Retail wiped out. Binance and Wintermute deny any secret deal. Both claim normal liquidity opportunities. OnChain tells another story. So who wins? Exchanges collect fees, market makers profit on spreads, whales reload, and retail takes the hit again. So what do you think about this? This has all happened over the course of the last couple days. They are liquidating longs right now, and they're making a profit on it. When does this stop? When does this finally stop? Of these people just viciously, manipulating this game?
Binance has a point. It is normal operations for them. There's that, like, if it was a secret, you wouldn't be able to find this on chain, right? And be able to track it down. So in that aspect, you can't really be upset about that. It is what it is. They have a business model. This is how they make their money. And retail, like in most 95% of situations or higher, ends up holding the bag and getting hit. It's the way that TradFi works too. It's just not as apparent in TradFi because TradFi is such a legacy financial system with stocks and these index funds and stuff like that. So you can work your way as a retail user into more safer kind of environments for now. And I think crypto does kind of develop these type of products in the future. But yeah, I mean, right as of right now, like, retail is going to consistently just take that hit. But that's the whole kind of grand I guess, like, event of the 4-year cycle, is like, because of that, like, you get to win really big every 4 years was the thought process before. We'll see how that changes after this year. But yeah, so I don't think this changes. In fact, I just think that now versus something in TradFi, to where it's done behind the scenes and not really spoken about as much and stuff like that. This is just out there in the open and saying, hey,
Yeah.
look, this is our business model. You guys are, at the end, are the reason why we are making money, and that's how it works. I mean, I don't think there's any way to stop this. If anything, they're just going to continue it. I mean, the only way to stop this would be if, like, everybody sold all of their crypto and got out completely.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, the people that work for Binance and Coinbase and Kraken are like, hey, like, when people dump all their ETH here, what are we supposed to do with it? Right. So we got to figure out a way to get money for this as well. So they go and they send it to Wintermute, and Wintermute just dumps it on their exchanges so their hands stay clean. Right. Wintermute is just the hitman for these exchanges. And some of them will be like, hey, we need to dump all this weekend, like they did last weekend. At one time, and Wintermute has to go around from exchange. They have every exchange, and they make sure they're the market makers, right? They make sure all the prices kind of stay the same. They dump it here, they dump it here, they dump it here, but that liquidates everyone from every exchange, including Hyperliquid.
Yeah, but I mean, first of all, Wintermute's taking advantage of an opportunity. They are, like, the largest servicer to do this, for these centralized exchanges, and everybody uses them, right? Binance probably uses them the most, but, like, Coinbase uses them, like you mentioned, Kraken probably uses. But, like, in the future, I see Wintermute as, like, a financial company that is, yes, they'll be known for this at this point, because this is their biggest thing that they're known for. They're talked about it, but they're gonna probably have different departments. They're gonna probably grow into something really, really big in the future, in the next 10, 15 years. Something like there's a company called Market that basically does back-end tracking for syndicated loans for the JP Morgans and stuff. Like, so, but that's what they're known for. But they also had like 10 other financial products. And so that's how I see Wintermute in the future. So they're just growing, and they're just doing good business. And I hate that that's what I'm saying, but that's the truth. It is. That's what this is right now. Is there anything that's like manipulation in terms of, like, illegal stuff? That's I think the thing that, like, people need to try to pinpoint. And if that's the case, then regulators need to be focused on that. But up until now, I haven't heard anything that's straight up illegal. But people don't like it. So you have large accounts, like people like Marty Party, that point out, hey, look, Binance talks about how it's all about, like, community and all these things, but they're dumping hundreds of millions of dollars on the market, which crashes all our altcoins and all these things. But that's business, at the end of the day, that they're doing.
Yeah, and it's like, if you don't like it, regulate it, right? Figure out a way to regulate this. Do you think the government steps in on stuff? Because like with the stock market and stuff like that, the way stuff IPOs, there's just one big pool, and then everyone else you just is the servicer for that pool. On these exchanges, it's different because they all have their own pools and they can all make they're all different places. So it's not like the stock market at all where they're all just pulling from one place. They actually have to go around and dump this stuff in every place to make it even and make the prices the same. So I kind of get that. I don't know. Is there anything the government can do, or do you even want the government to step in this?
Well, I think in traditional stocks there was probably like 4, maybe 5 huge like players. That's what capitalism creates. Like right before um, creating a monopoly, right? It's like you have enough to where you can stay away from that, but it's still like dominated by 4 or 5 players, and they are the ones who be able to dictate like what happens back then, right?
Well,
And
they pull in the same pool though. That's the
yeah,
difference.
but they communicate with each other and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
sure.
and so
Yeah,
like and plus that's like the whole security and all that stuff
yeah,
type of regulation. So it's a different world. I don't know how you do something like that over here without like labeling these as securities. Also, it's global versus US regulated,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? And but I do think that there's going to be safer options that are coming in to where if they do this, you're not necessarily going to be able to like right now we're just like it's basically like institution and huge whales that are playing these top 4 to 5 blue chips, and they even when ETH and Bitcoin pull back, they're okay because their capital is large enough for them to they're not taking like super risky leverage. Then there's this middle ground of people that are gambling a little bit, maybe they have some decent capital stuff, they get hit a lot, like the James Wins and stuff like that. And then
yeah.
you have like the lower people that get hit the most, in my opinion, because they are the ones that are trying to flip into these 50x's and 100x's, and those get obliterated when Bitcoin and ETH pull back. You know what I mean? And so it's just right now it's really hard time to be the small guy. It's a really hard time to be a small guy right now, unless you're a small guy that is like okay with like slow growth over time, and you're being extremely
Yeah.
patient and not risky.
Just DCAing into your portfolio constantly every week.
Yes.
$200, $300 every week, and just don't care. Time in the market is better than timing the market. Yeah, 100% agree. So let's get to the next part of this. Over 2.1 billion worth of tokens to be unlocked in September, led by Sui, Athena, Aptos, per CryptoRank. Then I have this chart here. So Sui, it looks like 1.6% of the market cap will be unlocking. Aptos, same thing, 1.6. Arbitrum, 1.7%. And then you have Velo, 11.4. I never heard of Velo. Agito Labs, you have about 3% of the supply opening up. Athena, same thing, 1%. Layer Zero, 10%. Huge. Pump Fund, 2.8. Say 1.58, 3.3. Does this scare you at all? Because I remember before we used to talk about this, we actually used to grab this every week, and it never did anything. So the token unlocks doesn't mean they're going to sell. It means they can sell. But a lot of these investors seem to be long-term holders of this, and they're just kind of holding this until better times.
Yeah, like I wouldn't worry about tokens like Pump Fund probably because those people are already filthy rich that are invested in that, and plus most of these, I would say if there's any trouble with some of them, maybe like I don't know too much about Velo or Jito Labs, but like the rest, Aptos hasn't necessarily been the best performer, but I think a lot of these are looking at Q4 as probably at some point in Q4 though, right? Like, we probably see some sell down happening in November or December of these, but not right now. I don't think it would make sense unless there's just no confidence in some of them. Like, I don't know what the state of Aptos is in terms of like investor confidence or institutional investor confidence, but I do know like the retail world isn't like too bullish on Aptos right now. So, we'll see what happens.
Aptos recently did a pivot from gaming and stuff like that. Now they're going heavy in the RWA. So a lot of big RWA investors have came into Aptos, and that's kind of why Aptos's price it was dropping for like 2 years, and then the CEO left, or the founder left, and the new CEO took over, and he's been pushing the chain more towards RWA. So it is having a little bit of a comeback, but the on-chain metrics are just super low.
Yeah, and look, that's not just them. There's many that have
Yeah.
low on-chain metrics right now. Many big names that have them. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that changes over time. But there's one thing that I think that, like, these big brands that might be struggling with low on-chain traffic and on-chain transaction volume and all that stuff is, what else can you do? What else can you do within your control? You know what I mean? There's things you can definitely do, because we've been hearing about them.
Yeah.
From whether they're our partners or whether they're just someone else in the space we're hearing about. There's things that you can do, and the ones that figure out those things, I'm bullish on them.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But we'll see what happens. So let's move along though. So Bitcoin closed August with a negative return of 6.49. August is officially over. Now we kind of locked this in here, and we started September already. We're a little bit green on September. August has been, if you want to, it's about 60-40 on red green. September, it looks like it's more like 70-30. Still about the same though. So what are you thinking for Bitcoin first about September? You are seeing guys like Benjamin Cohen come out and say this will be the month for the bottom and of ETH Bitcoin, and then money goes from ETH back into Bitcoin. Do you agree with that?
We could see that, but I don't think it takes as hard of a hit as it did before when that would happen. Just because, first of all, that didn't happen this year at
Yeah.
all. It happened in Q4 of 2024, though, and then that's whenever, like, Ethereum got to 4,000 and started bleeding back. After that, like, it never got back on track. But I don't think that happens the same this time, because, first of all, we still have Q4 ahead of us, and then secondly, you have institutional support now with Ethereum. So the bleed down would just, I think it would be more of, some large retail wells, maybe some institutions that don't have treasury companies that have that are trading it. That could be the case there. But I don't think it takes the big gut punches that it took the first 4 months of this year. And I think that's what happened, actually. The first 4 months of this year, I think that Ethereum and the rest of these alts, but Ethereum more specifically, from a large, like, just chunks of sell downs happened to buy up Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was all the talk, right? The treasury companies and new treasury companies popping up left and right. But there's more Ethereum treasury companies now than Bitcoin treasury companies, actually, when you count them. And I think they have about like 5 more. And so I think there's a little bit of rotation? Yes. Do I think Ethereum, gets below $3,000? No, I don't think something like that happens. I think, maybe some sell down, but the support will still be there. And I think buying up cheap will happen by the Tom Lees, by the sharp links. But we might not see that crazy spike until maybe late September for ETH, or I don't know. We're going to see how the reaction. We're going to see if I'm right on that. If Bitcoin.
What about Bitcoin here? So we are seeing 0.69. What do you kind of expect for the rest of this month? I'm kind of seeing maybe similar to potentially 2021, maybe, or maybe like 2017, where we just kind of go ballistic here, 47, 53, and 38. Do you see something like that, or do you see a very mellow 15%, 18%, 12%?
Are you talking about September or October?
I'm talking about October, November, December.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on if we get a typical September, right? If you look at 17, September looks like it, that's a little skewed in 17, mind you. Look at August. I mean, that was a huge increase from a decent July, mind you, right? So you're talking about an increase of 18% in July from June. And then a 65% increase in August from already an 18% increase. So like that September almost had to be red. And it was like, to me, I look at that as not even a bad September after a 65% increase.
I know.
So this September actually could, if it does give us something similar to 2017, but because it wasn't so hot in August, we get like a stronger September, then that could be good and set us up decent for October. But then, maybe cool off in October and then get better, a stronger November, December. And then October could be like when the alts kind of thrive. But September could be Bitcoin's month. It really could be.
Yeah. 100%. I'm actually seeing something like this, where maybe we're like a little bit red
We-
on
No,
September?
we
and
could
then just
actually be
have-
green. We could actually be green because it was over exhausting
Yeah.
17 in August. Like the buy pressure was
Yeah.
exhausted, jumped up 65% in the previous month. So it had to have a little bit of sell down. But if you look at August this year, like we didn't have, like, yes, we hit 124. I get it. It was a new all-time high, but it was really Ethereum's month. I mean, if you
Yeah.
switch the charts at Ethereum is like super green, right? For there you go, right? So September could be Bitcoin taking the spotlight back a bit and having like a plus, you know, between low, like maybe 2 to 10%. If it gets a little crazy, maybe even a little higher because, you know, it did have that drawback in August, and then maybe a more tamer September for Ethereum, and then Ethereum picks up after Bitcoin kind of does this thing in September, kind of like how July and August was. June, July, and August was for Bitcoin and Ethereum. June, July was Bitcoin's kind of stronger months, and then the part of July Ethereum picked up to finish August, right? So we could see a little flip-flop in September, which is fine. I think that's okay, you know, as long as Ethereum doesn't bleed hard into like the 3000s, which I don't expect it to do, and just give the kind of spotlight back to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin having a good September, and then Ethereum picking things up to finish this month, and then heading into October Q4.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely exciting. I do think that, you know, we are about to see some explosive numbers here, but we'll see. Let's check out Colin's chart. We haven't checked out this chart in a while. The global M2 and Bitcoin charts. Colin finally posted a new one, and it's not looking great. What do you think? Do you think that
deviation?
I mean, deviation strong right now. We did think. Remember back here, we thought that we were deviating, and then now we are really deviating. We should technically be in the 140s right now. If it wasn't for Binance dumping. No, I'm just kidding. But what do you think about this? Do we bounce back here? I mean, we did see deviation right here, just the opposite deviation. So we could potentially see this, but they always come back, whether this is coming back down or Bitcoin coming up to meet it.
Yeah, I mean the M2 supply didn't it hit an all-time high the other day?
So he's saying it's not on his chart, Colin. So,
but it's close.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's hope to God this doesn't continue down, because if it does, and it's going to break his, I think, what is his rule? 20% deviation.
Yeah.
So
this is kind of what he says here. He says my global M2 doesn't show any all-time high.
Oh, okay. That's crazy that he posted that, because that's what I heard that.
Yeah.
But if it breaks down below and it hits, you know, like 30% and higher in terms of deviating away from M2, that wouldn't be good for his thesis. But like, look, I mean, nothing is 100%, but I don't know, man. Like you and I have been talking about Bitcoin in the probability of it getting to 98,000 or below 100,000. Both of us are saying, man, we just don't see that as a probability. I mean, yeah, we don't, you know, and if it does, then man, that's surprising, right? And if it does, it's going to break his deviation percentage for sure. Well, 100%. I think it will, because, you know, you're looking at like further down, and then, but will it still come back if it breaks it? I think so. It does, like even if it gets to 30%
they
higher,
always come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Back.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean? So
yes, exactly. So in the end, the thesis is the same of where it's going to end up, and I think you know, just getting back to that line up there. So right now we're just watching to see how long it's going to last.
There's a saying, it's like the journey is always different, but the ending is always the same, right? So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like their journeys are different, but their ending is always the same, and you're going to see Bitcoin eventually back here. And I do think we're going to get strong correlation soon, whether that's October, November. But I do think that we're actually going to pass.
Could happen this month.
Supply. It could. It possibly could. VirtualBacon, somebody who we both follow, we both think is really amazing at what they do. He's TikTok, YouTube, mainly a TikTok guy, but he is finally getting insanely bullish. He said, now is the time to buy. He said, up to you though. I'm buying with everything I've got. He said he's going all in right now. What do you think about VirtualBacon? Somebody who's usually laid back. This is not him. Like I had to make sure I was on the right account, that it wasn't like a parody account when I saw this, but he came out and this is him, dude. He's saying he's going all in. He's very conservative, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's too risky for him to do that. I mean, because we're heading into a Q4, so
Yeah.
he's probably of a bull run year, so he's probably, you know, just seeing like the how cheap some of the stuff that he's in right now is, and he's saying, okay, this is pretty much like I agree with this in terms of, but not to like force like people to feel, oh my god, I'm gonna miss my one
Yeah.
life opportunity. I think I'm against that, and because I've been in that kind of, that's where the emotion comes in, right? And I think that that's where people can get tripped up here, because he's not typically an emotional person, and because he came out and said this, it's like, oh my god, like I kind of wish he worded it differently, and maybe even like broke it down further. Maybe he did in his video. And so, because I would say, what in a calm way, what I think he's trying to say is September has a window that's still open, and we don't know when that window is going to close, for the assets that I talk about, or these opportunities, to finish out the year. And so I'm not too sure what he gets into, but I do know, like,
These
some of
base
the,
meme coins. That's his
huh?
favorite.
What is
Base
it?
meme coins.
Base meme coins. Okay. Interesting. But with that being said, I think he's just trying to say, hey, the window's open still. But we don't know when it's going to close, because I don't think it closes actually until like, everything starts to turn back around, whether that's mid December. So, probably now until like a good portion of November, you're going to have opportunity. And then what does it look like after that? We don't know. We don't know. This is we're gonna go into a period of like unknown heading into 2026. But most of us probably gonna expect what we have always expected: peak at some point in December, whether it's early
How
December,
can you say
maybe
that though
late.
when we're gonna get rid of the Fed chairman in March? Like, how do you say we're gonna peak in
What?
December when we're
No,
about to
no, I'm
cut
talking
rates
about.
insane?
I'm talking about for this run up into Q4. I'm talking about for this Q4. I'm not saying 2026 is done. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying for this like window of opportunity to finish the year is what I'm saying. But
So you think we're
like,
gonna go down in January if we have a peak in December?
no,
I
but
just don't see it.
maybe second half of December. You know what I mean? Is it kind of a pullback a bit? You know what I mean? To kind of
Yeah.
get back into some of these stronger like ETH and Bitcoin and stuff like that. But that's just kind of playing off of what we've known. You only know what you know, and that's based off of history, right? But one thing, what we know from this experience this year is that it's playing a bit different, but
I
the
mean, it's
whole,
completely different than
yeah,
anything we've ever experienced. So to
yeah.
me, it just doesn't make sense to kind of compare it anymore.
I know,
Eventually you have to throw it
but
out the
how,
window.
and I think that's a part of the problem. I think that's a
Yeah.
part of the problem, is that humans are conditioned to try to forecast based off of past experience. I mean, because it works for a lot of things, right? Whether it's like learning, from your mistakes. If you're a NFL player or a basketball player or whatever,
Yeah.
you get better by not doing these bad habits, right? And so I think that's the problem this year so much, is that people are like, oh, I remember my mistakes from last cycle, and then they're
Hmm.
trying to implement the fixes, and that this year is the worst year to like, you're like, oh, I don't get it. Like, listen, you know what I mean? But it's okay, because like, we're gonna learn what this new financial system is going to be about, this new administration. And that's how I'm trying to approach it. Is I'm trying to have more gratitude, which has been hard for me personally this year, because I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, what happened to that spring run up? Where did that, we always get that every bull run year. What happened to it? Okay, it wasn't there. It's okay. It's going to be really big to finish the year, or it's going to, and you, for me, I got into this like area of where my gratitude was completely gone, and I was just like impatient and this and that. But I think if you remember those kind of things, those basic fundamentals of just even trying to be a better person in general, that can help you. And that's what I'm hoping that helps me for the last part of this year.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. For me, I'm more macro. I mean, if you can probably tell by the way I talk now, I'm always about CPI and PPI and Fed rate cuts and stuff like that. Like, I'm just playing it by the macro. So now we're getting a rate cut in September. It's looking that way. So I'm starting to get a little bit more risky. I'm always risk on, right? But my risk on is like runes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, like, yeah, I'm not like insane with anything. I'm just very conservative, and now I'm starting to think like, okay, maybe it's time to start looking into Solana meme coins like Fart Coin, and then we're the bigger ones, right? The ones that won't go to zero. And I'm starting to think, like going into the Q4, what are the big guys going to buy first? And so that's and then obviously when the retail gets in, that's when you can probably get further in the trenches and further into meme coins and stuff like that. So I think that's what Bacon is saying with this as well. I think he's saying like get them before retail starts buying them, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so with traditional finance in the stock market and all that stuff, New York Stock Exchange for over the past, go back to like the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. Obviously it started way before that, but I'm just saying we can go back to that far to where, these people that were able to become, build their own fund management companies or just be really good at investment. They developed research skills. They kind of were able to, get the inside information, not inside with the company, but like, oh, how is the performance for this company before, what does it look like? What are we forecasting? Oh, Coca-Cola, it's coming out like in the 80s, like awesome numbers, so they get in before. Will we ever have that version of our space? Because right now, that is one of the hardest things to do, is to actually put time into research other than, these, WLFIs and some of these TradFi companies that are doing the, will we ever have that sector be a strong sector to where you put your due diligence that much into it, other than just kind of hoping that a strong community forms around a meme coin, or, you're just kind of saying, okay, I know this person that's inside over there or whatever. Will we ever get that other kind of approach?
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing it, right? Coinbase, Circle, you're right. You're seeing all these TradFi, you're seeing all these exchanges now be listed or want to be IPO'd. So they're all traditional finance. And I think that, once we see what that looks like and like kind of take that to what we're doing over here, and WLFI is a big example of that. WLFI could have went public, but no, they decided to go where they play, which is crypto. They decided to put out a coin and do it this way. So I do think that once you're seeing traditional finance kind of come over, that's what they're going to do. And I think that's kind of why this cycle's messed up too, because traditional finance, they're not getting into the shit that we wanted to go up. They're getting into stuff that actually has revenue, actually makes money, right? They're getting
so the
into a lot of
blueprint
that
is being
stuff.
the blueprint is being created for our space, is what you're saying.
Exactly. But we're actually too early right now to where we can play with meme coins
You're
and
right.
build communities around it, right? But that will happen. We will have that moment. But you'll see a lot of this stuff go to zero that doesn't make money. And then you'll see the players like the Amazons of the world, right? Because in the early 2000s, people were like, Amazon doesn't make money. They lose billions of dollars every year. And then out of nowhere,
Facebook too.
they're the most profitable company in the world. Same thing with Facebook. But you have to invest in yourself first before you can show revenue. And I think that's where we're at right now with crypto.
No, I mean, that's a great point. And I mean, every company that ended up being one of the top stocks was, I mean, most, right? Like you have your traditional legacy stuff that was just like really solid, like the Coca-Colas, Nikes, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But like the tech stuff, you're right. I mean, like in the beginning, Google actually they said our goal is to get as many users as possible, and then they came out with their ads later,
Yeah.
and then they just like but now if you look at their revenues, it's gigantic because they do enterprise, they do Google Suite, that they literally replaced Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office is just so legacy and so strong that they still have like clients, but like, why would I pay for Microsoft Office whenever I can just use Google Docs for free as a personal use? And if I want to use it for my company, then I can pay a little bit on a monthly subscription for a Google Suite for everybody to use, like, these even more advanced products. So yeah, I agree. I think we are in that stage to where it's the still kind of figuring out stage. The blueprints will be created. So that does give me some hope in that, because I do think that there needs to be that, there needs to be that foundation of, putting in hard work and being smart by like researching and reporting, having people report on actual stuff like that, instead of like, what do you report on with like the GOAT token? You know what I mean? It's like what I said, James Wynn's posted about it the other day. Like that is obviously one end of the spectrum, and we need the
Well, you have
other
GameStop
end.
though. You have GameStop, same thing.
Yeah,
right?
but those are like the most successful traders and or most, sorry, I shouldn't say traders. The most successful investors don't park their money in GameStop. You know what I
Well,
mean?
a lot of people made a lot of money though.
They did for
So
that short
that's
period of time. But
well,
that was the
still, I mean, it
meme
went
stock.
from
Yeah,
yeah, it
that was the
hasn't.
meme.
So
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying. So right now, these bigger investors are only buying. So the S&P 500 and Nvidia and all that stuff, it's like 7 stocks. When you see the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq go up, they're only buying the same 18
Yeah.
tech stocks. Nothing else is moving, right? And even if they can have amazing earning reports, they still don't move because the investors are only buying the large caps. That's going to change soon, and I think that it's what you're going to see in our space as well.
Yeah, revenue reporting isn't even a thing yet, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. All right, let's get to this right here. Trump-backed World Liberty Financial Governance Token, WLFI, is now trading publicly with early investors limited to selling 20% of their holdings. So you can only sell 20% of your initial. This is actually insane. According to Arkham, WLFI's official wallet is using the USD1 it's printing out of thin air to purchase WLFI on the blockchain. They spent over 1 million USD1 to acquire 3.26 million WLFI. They're buying the token back. They're seeing this price right now, and they're like, we want this back. So the initial investors obviously came in. They made, about 30-40% on their money. WLFI is like, screw that. We're buying our token back. And then rumor is they're going to continue to do this. And they also came out and they, for the first time ever was today, they put USD1 on Solana. And they actually, the first LP pool created was the WLFI token and USD1. So they are putting some of that, their own into liquidity pools with USD1, their own token. So I don't know, dude. This all seems so bullish to me. What do you think about WLFI? What do you think about them going live today? They are at an $8 billion market cap to start, which is pretty wild. It puts them at right now at number 27.
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be huge. I think they're going to be huge, and I say that because they are starting their generational business. For the Trump name, right? And so, you gotta think about something like J.P. Morgan starting in the early days, right?
Yeah.
And in the early days, J.P. Morgan had a ton of pull. I mean, he was obviously super rich for that time, and he was funding Nikola Tesla's research. He was funding all these research and stuff. So my point is that WLFI is kind of at that breaking ground for a new industry with someone at that level of name, and this is just the start. The buyback part is interesting, but also that you're limited to selling 20% of your holdings. You know what I mean? And I think this is the kind of stuff that encourages hodling. Obviously, you don't have a choice, but it's like, we need this. You know what I mean? We need this kind of strength for this. It doesn't have to be every option like this, but it can encourage substance, more substance. And then you have something like, and I know that you can't compare them right now. It's not apples to apples, obviously, but then you have something like Emblem Vault, right? Or like Hustle that has an actual business model with actual revenue. So now those type of companies will be looked at as huge upside because you have the main mega financial institutions like WLFI and stuff. Now you're right, you're setting that blueprint of what's successful, and so this gets me excited because of that. And also ain't nobody gonna try to do any type of exploits to this because they know you going Guantanamo.
What's the most impressive part of this company? They obviously have their investing side where they're getting ETH, they're using DeFi capabilities to earn, and potentially they're going to use that revenue they have to buy back the token. And then they have the USD1 where every time you go and you mint USD1, you pay a fee for that. So if you do $1 million, you probably pay 1% or whatever the fee is to the company as revenue. And they have different aspects of it as well. But what do you think is the most intriguing to investors about WLFI, or is it just the fact that it's backed by Trump?
Well, I think it's backed by his family that they're interested, but not just that. It's like I mentioned to you before the show. Um, I'm sure that there's tons of TradFi CEOs and just leadership that are like really just trying to cozy up a ton to Eric Trump, to the Trump family, probably Donald Trump, so trying to support here and there. They want to make sure that they have their position in this new financial system, and so I think more than anything, it's going to be the support for it from institutional level, right? Let's be honest. I mean, and this sucks, but this is a hard truth right now. Crypto Twitter is starting to look smaller and smaller every day as these financial institutions come in terms of like pull power and pull like that. Like what can what right now Crypto Twitter has the power to get together and get a meme to run up to possibly $1 billion. That's absolutely nothing. That's a little speck compared to what these institutions can do. Are you kidding me? And it's also, by the way, it's getting harder and harder to do that when Crypto Twitter is trying to get together to do that. Like, you know what I mean? So my point is that like the people that are gonna set the stage and the rules and all that stuff, they are coming in, and so I think it's gonna behoove people that have been in the space for a long time to really pay attention on how the rules are set and how to win at this game, because the game that we're used to is going to change. It's going to change. Now, I'm not saying memes are going to go away and stuff like that, but it's just there's going to be changes to it in terms of success, which some of it's going to be good in my opinion. People can hate me for saying that, but I think that there's going to be some it's going to encourage more substance and stuff like that. Let's see what happens. This is obviously just me kind of speculating, but let's see what happens in the next year. Next year is going to be big. This is a big moment right now.
What do you think about the strategy that I was thinking about? You know, when I take profit, I was obviously thinking about taking it and putting it in Bitcoin. What do you think about taking profit and putting it in WLFI as my new safe haven? Do you think that's too early for that? Or do you think that could be something that people do and it could be a strategy for the future? Because, I mean, in 50 years, I expect this token to still be here.
I think that it's definitely one that's not as risky as probably a lot of stuff that we've played with, you know, so it's something that's,
I mean, I'm saying like this is like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana area for me right now, with a lot of room to move up.
The difference is that this is an innovative product, and because it's kind of one of its own, right? It's a one of one right now. Like what else do you compare it to? You can't really compare. Yeah, Circle, but Circle's not as Circle other than the USDC, you know, that token, they're not as involved even right now. Like WLFI is new, and WLFI they're getting like their hands in the sink. You know what I mean? They're like getting, hey, we're launching on Solana, we're launching this on Ethereum. Circle doesn't come out and make statements like that. You know, their statements are we're putting USDC on Solana, we're putting USDC, but it's different if it's just a stable. If it was just USD1 and that was it, then that was it. But what they're doing is they're saying we're here and we're going to be a household name and you're going to see us everywhere, and this is how you can benefit by being a part of us, and this is, you know, everything exactly right. So for me, I feel like this has a lot of upside, and the experimental part of the innovation side is the downside, but it's the Trump media or not Trump media, but like the Trump name. And then also I think they realize that like what this means for the next 100 years for their family name, you know what I mean? If they do this right. And I know that they, you know, hired tons of experts and advisors and stuff like that to make sure this is handled correctly and all these things. And so I wouldn't compare it to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana because it's a different product, but I compare the upside to something like possibly the upside to Solana, like, you know, maybe a couple years ago or whatever, right? Like whenever they launched. So that upside is there, and because it's also a hybrid. It's like that Web 2 mixed with like a strong Web 3. We want to be present in Web 3 everywhere, you know.
They're also a DAT. think about it. They're buying Ethereum. They're buying Bitcoin. You know what I mean? They have everything. To me, this is the JP Morgan 50 years ago, right? It's going to be one of the biggest. It's going to be a bank too. Like this
Yeah,
is going to
yeah.
be a bank in the
Fund
future,
management,
dude. Everything. This to
wallet.
me is
They have a wallet, right? They have their own
yeah.
wallet. So
Yep.
there's
They're
your bank
building their own
account,
wallet, dude.
product lending, yield, all that stuff. Index fund. Do you need a consultant? Okay, we'll call you. So it's going to be like the most hybrid product that
Yeah.
we
We've never
that
seen
we
anything
see.
like this.
Exactly.
And like you said it earlier, JP Morgan. Dude, I think if you DCA into this, maybe if you get in today, tomorrow it's going to be down, next week might be down, next month be down. If you do a constant DCA into this token, it could be like DCAing into JP Morgan in the 70s, right? Like it really could. And where 30 years from now, you're potentially a top 50 or a top 200 holder of this because of DCAing over the course of time. And I think that could be absolutely huge because you're going to want people are going to want say in what WLFI does. And to get that, there's probably going to be staking mechanisms as well where people are locking these tokens up and earning yield. I don't know. I'm so bullish on this. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But let's jump in today's crypto fear and greed. It is bad, bro. It is bad. So last week we're at a 50. Yesterday we're at a 40, which I had no idea. And then today we're a little tiny bit lower than that 40, but we're in the 30s.
Ooh, 38.
Pretty much 39. I hate looking at this right now. We're in September, bro. We shouldn't be 39. We shouldn't be 39, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, we are. What are we gonna do? The only thing that's been kind of keeping my mind off of is football started, college football started, so that's what I've been focused on. But yeah, there will be brighter days.
I hope so. I hope tomorrow back in the 40s. Do you think so? Do you think tomorrow potentially back in the 40s?
Well, it could be. Well, no, I think this evening is gonna probably not be that much better, but tomorrow could be a bounce back day because people have been away from their desks, since Friday, and but sometimes when you have a extended holiday weekend, it does take like that week to finish to kind of get back into things, right? So I'm probably expecting something like that. Nevertheless, you zoom out, you know where we're headed, and that's the most important thing. But I'm gonna do a year in review for sure, like in terms of like the lessons learned, because I think there's a lot of lessons that could be taken from this year, which is so wild because if you think about it, like since 2023, it's like things have been getting harder. You know what I mean? We started off in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We caught that Bitcoin ecosystem bull run, and it got really easy at the end of the year. The 2024 moments in the beginning were pretty easy. Basically, then it got harder, and then 2025 we're thinking, oh, this is where it's at. But lessons, you got learn from all of them. That's the biggest lesson in that.
100%. That's life, man. Learning from your mistakes and learning from your wins too, because just because you win doesn't mean you can't learn something from it. But let's jump into the Bitcoin price action. Crypto Bubbles brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are building something truly special, and these guys are awesome too. It's like I was having a shizzy problem on their site. I wasn't able to do any trades, and I couldn't figure it out. Their head guy sends me a message like with 3 steps, and he's like, "This is your problem." Figured it out quickly, and now I'll be able to help you guys further if this ever comes up. But you have to just clear some of your old trades out. And I had a short in there that it was just sitting there, so I had to clear that out before I could start another trade. So if that's something that you ever need help with, just go to clear transactions and don't be an idiot like me and say, "Hey guys, my thing keeps spinning." So these guys are absolutely awesome, phenomenal guys. They're building on Botonics. Botonics is giving away the largest Bitcoin airdrop ever. They're going to be airdropping everybody who potentially uses the site and gets the badges and stuff like that. And you guys can earn the points from Artura, earn the Bitcoin from Botonics, and just win all the way around. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities right now. I think me and you have to start digging more into airdrop hunting as well. I think airdrop hunting is going to be very big, especially when we get a little bit bullish, because what happens normally is a lot of places launch and they reward the early day users, right? Their community members. So I think there's a lot of airdrop. We're going to be putting out an airdrop video here very shortly once we kind of figure everything out on our own and master it, so we can kind of give you guys the best information on how to do this stuff. And I don't think it just starts with Botonics, but we can go further. And I do know that they're going to be on other chains as well that potentially have airdrop opportunities as well. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity here, and you guys can check everything out at Artura.finance.
Absolutely, guys. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out by sharing this space on X, and make sure you hit that like as well. And on the YouTube side, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And same thing with Abstract. Share this link, guys. Get that out there. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for helping us out, and all the other channels and communities as well. The Kick, Twitches, Spotify, and of course, don't forget Rumble. All right, let's get into some Bitcoin price action. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto bubbles. Let's take a look here at the hour chart, guys. We got a lower high here, so that's not good. You can see also that the MACD looks like it's exhausting here. So it looks like we're losing our momentum that we did kind of get early this morning, talking about 12 a.m. But man, it was decently aggressive, I guess you could say. We wicked down to 107,251, only to wick up to 109, almost 110, right? Just to bring it back down. But that's how Bitcoin is kind of flowing right now. It's just back and forth. You can see it's been choppy really since when was this? Friday, right? We just been kind of consolidating back and forth, going back and forth through this range of 109 all the way down to 107. All right, let's see what is in store for us for the rest of today. It looks like it wants to take this guy down further, but let's take a look at the support and resistance to see if we get that confirmation there. And we are going to 8 a.m. So about 2.5 hours. Let's pull it out just a little bit. No, not that far. Let's go here. Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll pull it here at 3 a.m. We need a little bit of data, right, to work with. And you can see right here at the 106.6, pretty much 106, sorry, 108, 670. We're losing not a ton of volume here. It's actually kind of live, going ping-ponging back and forth. But this area, we're a bit balanced. Right below that, we're balanced again. But then there's no volume below that. So if we do fall here, you can see in this area that it's not showing, we are losing, a decent amount to the resistance. So we could take this bad boy back down to 108, maybe high 107s. Let's see what happens here in this range though first. Above that, we kind of balanced again. We don't really take any momentum back until we get to here. Let's let this reset here. We don't really get any momentum back until we get to 108,800, around there. So if we can manage to work our way back up here, then we nope, actually I'm wrong. No, it's flipped on the resistance side as well. Yeah, so I mean it's looking really tough, guys, for the support side. Yeah, I'm actually expecting this to kind of break down and us to come out of the buy pressure. So for me personally, I could be wrong here, but I think that we're probably going to see 107 again. But that's what I'm seeing here. And typically when I'm talk really confident like that, the opposite happens. So just know that. But that's what I'm seeing, at least from the indicators, right? And I'm seeing that as well from the battle that we have up here in this region right here. Yes, we are balanced in where we are right now, but below that we lose the battle, and above this we lose the battle. So I don't know how much support we can hang on to here before we kind of let go there. So that's what I'm seeing on the hour chart. Probably head back down to low 108s to high 107 on the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart actually, if we can win on that hour chart, then we could continue this, try to sustain this buy pressure that we've seen. But if you just zoom out here, you can see, I mean, this is a downtrend, right? We got to break the trend here, and it's just not happening on every opportunity that we've had. It's just, hits that and then bounces right back, hits that, bounces right back. So I'm not too confident in this buy pressure I'm seeing on the MACD. Even if we do get up here, I wouldn't be shocked if we turn right back around. So that's the 4-hour for us. So for us to have any chance to sustain this, we need that 1-hour chart to be hyper aggressive to the upside. And I just don't see that. It is also a low volume day, thin liquidity. It is Labor Day, so it's not going to be a ton of volume. So The daily looks not great either. We need to come out of this. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. You see the stochastics kind of just showing us it wants to continually hang out here. We need to have a good day to kind of pull us out of there. I'm talking about a good day as in getting back to like over probably 112 to pull us out of the sell pressure on the MACD. So gonna just be patient for this week and let this week get going at least till Wednesday, Thursday to see if we get any turnaround there. So that is a Bitcoin for you guys on the hour chart for Ethereum. Very similar to Bitcoin. We are selling down still here. The momentum you can see is continuing here on the hour. Pretty much the same thing. This is a low volume day. We're losing all these areas here. Where we are right now at the 4360, we're losing that. We do have it more balanced below that. It's more balanced below that. So it's a little bit better on the downside, at least. We can maybe catch some of this and try to sustain and hold the 43, low 4300s, 4320, 30 area. Let's see what it looks like above. Above looks, okay, so we're losing above. So that's the only similarity I would say is kind of, well, I would say we're kind of similar where we are with Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have a little bit of strength of the current price, and then above we're losing, but below the difference is that Ethereum looks stronger. So we can maybe try to catch that with some support below. We'll see what happens with that though, as a lot of people are calling for selling out of Ethereum into Bitcoin, or at least some smart people like Benjamin Cohen. So let's get to the larger time frames here. Let's go to the daily. The daily looks bad for Ethereum. It looks actually worse for Ethereum than it does a Bitcoin. Just the sell pressure looks stronger there. But that's when I say worse, I'm talking about the MACD, right? So the MACD looks worse. The price is, Ethereum's been able to kind of take some of these really, big gut punches and bounce back. So we'll see what happens here, but the daily definitely needs to look better. And we did get our second monthly candle, and it's surprisingly just really strong on the MACD side, not the actual candle. You can see like the second candle here, the September candle is starting strong here. So that's a little surprising. I didn't expect it to be that big, but maybe I don't know, maybe because throughout the night, maybe it I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why it's so big. I expected it to be a little bit closer to the August candle, but that's, hey, look, if we are that, this MACD indicator is seeing some strength here for September to start off with, then, maybe we don't bleed as much for Ethereum. We do have this red candle that's kind of starting here, so this needs to turn around. We got to get above, what is this, about probably like 4,600 for it to start turning green again. But this is one of the charts I have been kind of just zooming out with Ethereum. Whenever the hour, the 4 hour, the daily looks so bad, I say, okay, well, what does the monthly chart look like for Ethereum? It still looks pretty strong, but we could see some pullback in September. That doesn't mean that the September momentum on the MACD is going to just completely be depleted, because we could finish the month strong. But as of right now, it's just kind of like, where is ETH going to head? Does it follow Bitcoin continuously, or does it do its own thing? We'll see if people like Benjamin Cohen are correct and people sell out of Ethereum and go into Bitcoin. Even if that happens, like I mentioned earlier on the show, I don't think it would be a huge beat down of Ethereum. Maybe we see 4,100, 4,000. Could we get into the high 3,000s? Possibly, but I think it gets eaten back up by the people that are really bullish on it. The Tom Lees, the Sharp Links, the treasury companies. I think there's about 15 to 17 treasury companies right now. So I think Ethereum is going to show strength, even if Bitcoin goes up and it goes down just a tad. But we shall see what happens. As Bitcoin and Ethereum for you guys. Taking a look here at the crypto bubbles, it's not great. It's about a 90 to 90. Probably 95.5 here in terms of red versus green. In the top 100, you see meme land is up a lot. So there must have been something with that Moonit and GAG launchpad, or some sort of new launchpad on Solana that is benefiting this. And then you see KuCoin's token right here is up 2%. KCS Pump Fund is up 0.5%. MakerDAO up 1.9%. I'm just going to hit over some of the top pullbacks. So you got Pith Network down 9.4%, but they gained from that government news being used as an oracle there. Hex pulling back 10.2%, Bonk pulling back 9%, CFX pulling back 8.1%. What else do we have that's up there? OKB. So this thrived for so long because of the supply cut and just kind of that supply shock, but now it's pulling back because so many people made so much money off of it. So OKB's pulled back 6.1% there. You see Aerodrome pulling back a 5.5%, and then Crow pulling back 5.5% too. I'm seeing a lot of bearish stuff about stacks on my timeline. A lot of it is coming from that hunch, which is just like, I think they're getting a divorce or something, but stacks is down 4.4% on the day there. And then let's take a look here at the top 200. USDJ, not good day for whatever this is. Is this is a Japanese stable coin, I'm guessing, or something?
I don't know.
Pulling back 26%. PulseX makes sense, pulling back 10.2% as Hex kind of pulled back. And then you see PLS there pulling back 9.2%. MOG pulling back 8.8%. What else do we have here? ZBCN pulling back 6% there. And
FTX pulling back there as well.
FTX.
I wonder what's going on over FTX.
FTT. Well, it was green surprisingly a couple weeks ago,
Yeah,
multiple days. It pulled back 7.4%. Fartcoin pulling back a 9%, and you keep talking
Out of
about
the
this
top 100, bro.
Yeah. That is definitely surprising. You know, it's been in the top 100 for so long. You're seeing it at 73 cents. The lowest that I've seen it this year, I think actually the lowest this year it did pull back to like 26 cents, but I think that was not long after it launched,
March
and
or February.
Yeah, and then after that, the second lowest one was I think 50 cents. So we could see a pullback to maybe that second low. We'll see. But man, Fartcoin would have been a really, really tricky play. So this is one of those tokens that I'm talking about that people probably, you know, if you're trading leverage, you know, and you're very good at taking profit, then fine. You did a great job when it ran from 82 cents to $1.17, which was about a month and a half ago. It went from 82 cents, and then I think the next 2 weeks it went all the way to 115, and then the next month it just tricked everybody like 2 or 3 times, you know, going back down to 80 cents to only go back up to 105, and then now back to 79. So it's that 71 cents here. And you know, so this is kind of Fartcoin's a good story of kind of how people are feeling, I think, right now. You know what I mean? To where it's like, we know that like the time is coming, it's approaching, but we're still getting faked out. Not as bad as we were getting faked out earlier this year in terms of results, but still, it's kind of like, dude, you massacred us the first 6 months. Can you not just let the last 6 months be okay? You know, but we're starting to realize how the space is working this year, and hopefully we do get a strong quarter Q4. I still do believe that will happen.
Bacon might be right though, and this might be the bottom for a lot of these coins. But
yeah,
we'll see. All right. Let's kind of get into our next thing. Here's roll call. We take the first comment of the day and we put it on a spreadsheet, and we've been tracking it for over 6 months, 7 months now. Tim Baker, congratulations to you, my friend. You have that first comment of the day, locked you in, man. Your 5th win of the year. Congratulations, and the 1st of September. So congratulations to you, my guy. Let's take this down. Bitcoin is Truth is here. What's up, Bitcoin is Truth? He said, hey, I'm going to lock you in as well. Abstract is here. Malam Yuri, man, absolutely awesome. He said, looks pretty bad. What next? PRC 20s. I don't know, man. K99 is here. Vader Time, my dude. He said, you guys working on holidays. We don't stop, Vader Time. We don't stop. Lackey Lukey is here. Congrats, Tim Baker GM. And he locked in his X count. Adds you to the wheel. Joko is here. Shout out to Joko. Chief Axel, my guy. Appreciate you, man, every day. Dogs on air. Absolute legend, man, every single day. ASAP Benji is here. Shout out to ASAP Benji. Locked you in. DJ Clitter says, I'm trolling Eric Trump. $40 trading fees on ETH. Not sure what you mean, man. I would love to know, though. I Walk Alone is here. Yep, I'm going to add you as well. It looks like CM Sin. He says, how is everyone doing around here? We're good, man. Glad to have you here today. And I'm gonna lock you in as well. Make Bitcoin fun again. Says, happy Monday, OR fam. And I'm going to win again today. You won Thursday and Friday. So, I mean, I'm not going to put it past you for sure. Rick G is here. Shout out to Rick G. And then finishing up with Hydro Sapien. Not many comments today, guys. So it's going to be just like the 10 of you guys on the wheel. Guys, if you don't comment, man, now's your time. Comment in here. Yeah, but jump on X and YouTube. Let me make sure that's not at the top there. No. Not many people watching. Oh, we got Ryan is here. Brian Bolon is here. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here today, bro. Yeah, 100%. And that is your roll call for today. But I do have a couple more topics in here. We'll get to this one really quickly. So my guy Andre came out with a post over the weekend, and I just want to read it because it's really good. I really opened my eyes to a lot of the stuff that he's doing. He said, a frequent and fair criticism of my work is he abandons everything he builds. So why should Flying Tulip be different? Well, in 2021, I was obsessed with decentralization and immutability. The only roadmap for that was Satoshi. The only way to let a protocol truly decentralize is for the founder to not be the visionary and walk away. I achieved this by putting myself in a position I could walk away. No token allocation for myself, no money raised for the project, no built-in fees or benefit for myself, no licenses, all given away for free. With Flying Tulip, I have a founder and team tokens. They are vested behind buybacks. I'm not optimizing for decentralization. I'm optimizing for building a killer product. So many unique crypto projects all under one umbrella. What I previously built was an entirely without personal incentives. Imagine what I can do if incentivized. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. What do you think about Andre's comments here? Because I fucking loved it, dude. I was like, let's go. Andre building a business now is equivalent to me to Bezos building something. Andre is the godfather of DeFi. He understands DeFi more than anybody. I'm so bullish on Flying Tulip because of this right here.
Isn't he centralizing this?
Yes, it'll be Hyperliquid. He's building Hyperliquid. So it'll have
he's raising money though.
He's raised the same way Hyperliquid did, right? They had investors and stuff as well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that like what he said was right, and I think that but he admitted that the criticism was fair. You know what I mean? Because, but I think you could have probably criticized a lot of people in those days, but the difference is like this, right? So like what he created the first time was, kind of like the infrastructure blueprints of DeFi, kind of like, how to make DeFi more than just a simple, this is it. But then people probably come back and say, well, then what, Uniswap could have said the same thing, but they built something that was, really strong and formidable. Same thing with like PancakeSwap or these other things, right? And but this is where I guess he could rebuttal and have a good argument, is that he didn't have any built-in fees it was just infrastructure. And there's no built-in fees that he benefits from. Uniswap has those built-in fees. PancakeSwap has those built-in fees. Aave has those built-in fees. So it's just either you trust the guy's skill set and what he's saying with what I just broke down, and there's huge upside, or you don't, and you just kind of be like, okay, I just think he was not good at what he did the first time, or not. That wasn't a good move the first time. I actually believe he has good arguments.
Well, the thing is too, is like, so everyone was trying to build the Satoshi version of DeFi, right? The founder walks away, the founder doesn't get anything, he buys in early potentially and benefits that way. For now, he's talking about the same thing we're talking about earlier, that there is no companies with revenue in crypto. Well, he's changing that. He's saying, I'm building a company that uses decentralization as a tool instead of it being the company, right? We're going to have centralized aspects. I'm going to benefit from this the same way Jeff Bezos benefited from Amazon, and I'm going to build something extraordinary to the point of I'm one of the top guys again in crypto, because he is. Talent-wise, he has everything. You know what I mean? You see that with their 50-year runway with Sonic. He's a business guy, right? And I think him building Flying Tulip, which again is a Hyperliquid competitor built on Sonic, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Is he American?
No, he's I want to say he's Italian, but he's from that area.
Oh, okay, so then Sonic's not considered a U.S. company.
Well, Sonic Michael Kong is
New York.
Australian. He's
Oh,
Australian,
okay,
but
okay.
I think it is built. I
Oh,
think
so
when the
they're
transition
operating
happened from Phantom,
they're-
they have a corporate company in the U.S. Yeah,
smart. That's smart, actually. Yeah,
so
I mean, we all know like how talented he is in being able to create that. But also you got to remember that was in 2021 and like all these things. I think he knows what he's getting himself. Well, he knows what he's getting himself into this time. It's like he can't just, create something and just Satoshi it. That's not how it works
yeah.
for this round. This round is going to be like he knows that. He already stated it.
Yep.
Like we're raising money. This is I kind of like, but I kind of don't like. He's like, imagine what I could do if I'm incentivized. But that's a true statement for
is.
anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because whatever the incentive is, whether that's fame, whether it's monetary, value, or self just self pride or whatever it is, if you lack it, that's where your motivation and ambition comes from, right? So, yeah, I think it could be big. Hyperliquid needs competitors. There's a couple other, entities that are trying to do it, but he's definitely somebody that could whip something together.
And you got to remember, he built Sonic.
Yeah,
Like Phantom and Sonic are two different products. They're two different blockchains. Phantom was a DAG, and then you have Sonic, which is this EVM super chain. It's the fastest chain out there by TPS, and they said they can get faster. So now you just need a product on top of that, and now you're building Flying Tulip, which is going to be this leverage trading platform, market maker. It's going to have its stable coin. And apparently, it's going to have like all these different products attached to it, and they're going to be doing everything through the Sonic Foundation. I don't know. I love this. I think it's absolutely awesome, and I think Andre is the perfect guy to kind of lead this because I mean, he built Sonic. I mean, see what he can do here. So,
yeah.
but Sonic Labs has passed its first governance proposal to expand into the U.S. traditional capital markets, enabling a regulated ETP, exchange traded product, and ETF, exchange traded fund, tracking supporting a NASDAQ DAT. So they're going to be, like I said, they have 50 years of runway. They're going to be taking some of that runway and actually just opening up a company, opening a SPAC, basically partnering with the SPAC to have a Sonic ETP, exchange traded fund, on the stock market.
And that's another thing that, like, I mentioned this last week on the show that Sonic was on the radar now. I mean, I asked ChatGPT, I was like, give me everybody that's on the radar. So this is something that I think people need to be paying attention to, but it is not necessarily end all be all, but it's definitely a positive. Like it's a positive thing if there's a company, a publicly traded company or a corporation form that is going to raise money up in in the area of 20, 50, $100+ million for the specific reason to buy your token and hold your token. And this is something that I think just elevates Sonic and because now they're in this conversation. Who else gets into this conversation? But again, this also he's associated with this, and now he's associated with what's the other one? Tulip?
Flying Tulip.
Flying Tulip. These are, I mean, they're associated with each other. I'm sure that Sonic Labs is going to be the deposit chain.
Yeah, no, he's building his own Sonic. He's already said it. So it's going to be, they're going to be doing Flying Tulip, and they have a website.
Well, but is it going to be like, is Sonic going to be the chain that deposits into Flying Tulip, kind of like how Arbitrum is for?
No. He's building it on Sonic. So when you deposit into Sonic, you can just use.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Sonic will be the Hyperliquid chain, and this will be the leverage trading platform. But it's not just that. It's one exchange, all of DeFi. So they're doing spot, they're doing perps, they're doing lending, they're doing options and structured deals. So he's doing everything inside of this one thing, Flying Tulip. So they're basically taking what they did with hybrid AMA, right, and just popping it all on top of Sonic, which is already built for this, right? Sonic is built for this. Like it's almost like he had to build the infrastructure before he could build this on top of it, which sounds insane.
Yeah, Yeah, and then like marketing is going to change too now. People
Yeah.
don't realize that. Like, before, I'm sure that everybody was very careful on regions and areas and stuff to market to, and these decentralized products weren't necessarily marketed at very hard or whatever. But I mean,
Yeah.
Hyperlink was not even marketed still, right?
Not at all. They're not. They're afraid to market right now. I don't want to kind of mess with it. So
Yeah, but I do think that changes in the future though, because
yeah.
like you got to think about like how hard E-Trade was pushed on society in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Once the online brokerages for stocks really got big, that I saw E-Trade everywhere. You know what I mean? When I was
Mhm.
watching games, when I'm online and stuff like that. So we're gonna see a different flow of Web3 marketing, I think, in 2026 that we're not used to. It's gonna be
Yeah.
everywhere.
100%. Let's move on to the next thing here. BRC 2.0 protocol. I'm sorry, BRC 20 protocol has completed a major upgrade to BRC 2.0, integrating Ethereum virtual machine capabilities, led by Ordinal's developer, Best in Slot, and BRC 20 creator Domo. What do you think so far? We both minute the first coin. How's that doing, by the way, over
It's
there?
at 79%, but it's
That's
technically
it.
not. The first one is Acorns, they're saying. So,
Well, the first mintable one, right? That's
oh,
what I mean.
gotcha.
So it's like Acorns was minted all to one wallet. GameFi seems to be, but look at this, dude. 15. Damn, it's been going. People are going hard after this token, bro. I mean,
Well,
19 sats per V-byte right
is
now.
it that token or is it
It has to be. That's the only thing I see minting.
but
Let me grab
there's
my
a
screen
bunch that
here.
are like 100% minted out already.
Yeah, they're all minted to one
Self
wallet.
issuance. Okay. Self
Yeah,
issuance.
so
Gotcha.
GameFi, dude, I got 80% now. Pretty
Yeah.
nuts. This is crazy. It does look like it's gonna min out. There is no other ones. It looks like people are getting a little bit into gamble. 16 holders, maybe not, but it's crazy. It's all for one token right now. What do you think about BRC? And I don't know about you, but I still don't see the inscriptions in my wallet, but it says like I have them. Like if I go to
What?
the bottom, I can see that I
Oh yeah,
minted them,
yeah.
but they're still not in my wallet, which probably means the BRC 2.0 stuff doesn't go to the wallet, or maybe the wallet's not showing them yet. But what do you take so far about this whole experience?
Confusion.
Confusion.
Because of that. Because
Yeah, you can't trade them either.
yeah, but yeah, the other side of it is that like, man, there's a lot of self issuance, dude. If you
It's
guys
normal though. People mint the
it,
whole token to themselves. I mean, this is what happened with runes. I mean, the first 100 runes are self issuance, like with 16 of them mintable.
yeah. Well, no, I feel like a lot of them you could mint.
No, from like 11 to like 30, it was like with the one here, one there.
Well, I know.
Like Liquidium grabbed their whole stack. A lot of the guys a minute early grabbed their whole stack right away.
Yeah. Is someone self issuance bitmap?
Yeah, that would be cool if they airdrop all bitmap holders. But I mean, what's the point?
I don't know, but yeah, I guess this is interesting. I mean, like everybody's going towards one token. You're right. Like, why? There has to be some reason. What if they burn
I
like
minted them just in case. I
80%?
mean,
Someone like got like a ton and they burn like 80%.
well, you can't trade them. Like, where's going to be the first marketplace you can actually trade these things,
Probably
right? So,
Unisat.
yeah. Well, they said there's everything going to wait until the 17th when the AMA opens.
Bro, I got tokens stuck in the pizza swap.
Well, you
I
can get them
think.
out now.
Can I?
Yeah, you can get everything out of Pizza Swap now. You can't sell them probably. You might as well sell them in Pizza Swap and just bridge out the Bitcoin, right? I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, pizza swap. Well, no, not even pizza swap. Sorry, I was stuck in not pizza swap. I was stuck in the other swap.
It's the same thing now. It's the same thing now. They bridged them all together.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I got to look into that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, is Unisat, is BRC 20 gonna have this huge bounce back? I think the show has always respected Domo, in the sense of like he was one of the people that he was an innovator in the sense of like putting it out there and saying, hey, I don't know if this is going to catch, but this is something that could work within inscriptions. And he's been backed by these guys from Best in Slot for so long. And you got Binary, which is pretty much the CTO over there, the lead over there, and you have Asia supporting BRC20s, and Ordi and Sats are both on Binance, and there's probably good reason to think that they're gonna try and pump this. I don't know, man. I don't know. Kramer, what,
20 swap
dude?
Still has token stuck in there like honk.
Yeah,
I thought it all meshed now, Kramer. I thought like Pizza Swap is live on Bitcoin where you can just deposit right in a Pizza Swap and everything's just in there. You still can't get it out. Are you sure? I don't know, Kramer. I'm pretty sure you can get the tokens out now because Pizza Swap is the whole thing now. It's not just BRC20 swap. Now. Really? He says no.
Well,
wow. Maybe I'm wrong then.
I don't even see the swap, the old swap on Unisat's Unisat's page.
Wow.
Oh, there it is. Module BRC20 swap. There it is, right there. I see it. What's up, Kramer? Man, it's been a long time. Hope you've been good, dude.
Hey, man.
Hope you've been good on this Labor Day.
You said I DM'd Lorenzo many times. I wonder how that goes.
So it's funny because honk is the tokens I have stuck in there. Maybe it's a honk thing, man. No.
Yeah. They want to hold your honk. I'm good. Love you guys. Yeah, miss you, Kramer, man. Gotta have you on the show once again. But I think that's our show today, man. I don't really have much else here. Oh yeah, one tiny more thing. SparkSat said wallet tool for Spark today. Spark officially launches SPNS. Spark name service, the first mintable and tradable NFT collection on Spark. So it's the first NFT collection too. But what do you think about this? Would you be interested in getting a Spark name?
No.
Super early right now. No interest in getting.
No, just because like I feel like that whole ENS like the NS names thing is just it's old and it's like it's not. I don't know. I think in the beginning of the Sats thing, some people made some money, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work the same way like domains. I mean, I'm happy I have my.
Well, this is Lightning Network, so this is a little different in that sense. Imagine if you can send a Lightning Network to that person, sending Lightning Bitcoin all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do any username though, right?
No, you will not for Lightning Network. You need their wallet address.
But can't you do any name and then you just connect it to the address? Like that's how all these ENS things work. You don't have to.
Yeah, you got to make them readable though. That's the thing. So someone has to go around and make them readable. So you need a data or like an indexer to kind of make them relatable. So where they are sendable to that.
If it becomes popular enough, they'll create.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is Spark, right?
That's how you start it.
Yeah.
I guess.
And you got Bitcoin can come later.
Am I getting like what is your X username .sats?
No, I'm Shizzy OnChain. No.
Okay, I think mine is Yagobi.sats. But anyways, yeah, it's like I don't like as is it? Yeah. But like I think anyways, I have Yagobi.sats on something. I don't want to just keep changing it though. I feel like as time like evolves, like we'll just keep changing it to the new hot thing. You know what I mean?
Well, it's still not work. I can't send Yagobi.sats anything. Like if I typed in Yagobi.sats on my Unisat, it doesn't work because there's no one to incentivize it because it was all done through like when you do it for ETH or whatever, right? When you do your name, so they're getting paid for that. The foundations, the group that behind ENS is getting paid for it. That's one thing we tried on Bitcoin. We tried to do shit decentralized, and there's no team behind it because it's decentralized. So it's that shit all over again. But look out for GameFi. Minute if you haven't minuted it yet. It could be something. It could be nothing. Who knows, right? But I'm taking that chance, and that's our show for you guys today. Happy Labor Day. Hope you guys out there barbecuing, hanging out with your family, enjoying your day off. If you're in the U.S., 190 people on X. 98 people on Twitch, 39 on Trench Kitty X, and then finishing it out with 107 on YouTube. Not to mention everyone on Kick, Rumble, and Abstract. Really appreciate every single one of you guys, man.
Absolutely. Big shout out to you guys, the X people showing up for sure. It pays to pay attention. Remember that. You guys showing up on Labor Day, but appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, without you guys, we couldn't do this. And we are very, very thankful for each and every viewer and community member, all of that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. We also appreciate our partners because they are part of the reason why we're allowed to do this as well, or able to do it. They support us. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes or alkanes, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you will earn Amber points, and Amber points they're an XP point system that are going to go towards a give back for early adopters. If you connect your wallet for the very first time, you get 1,000 Amber points. So you got to take advantage of that, at least in season 1. And when that ends, I'm not sure if they're going to lower that. But if you make transactions on the platform as well, you can earn Amber points as well. Also, if you want to join their beta test group, I think this will be the last week that I mentioned this, because this is probably going to close up soon. But you can reach out to their X account at Sats Terminal, message them and let them know you want to test out their new borrowing and lending product, borrow against your Bitcoin. But head over to satsterminal.com to learn about everything I just mentioned there. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your Bitcoin ordinals or your Bitcoin NFTs, like counterparty NFTs, you can do so from Bitcoin to Ethereum via Emblem Vault. They have a jump feature, which is powered by Lit Protocol. And you can right now take out a loan against your Taproot Wizards on the Gandhi application, which is on Ethereum. It's the largest borrowing and lending app. And they're allowing people to take loans against their Taproot Wizards. Also, I'm sure they're going to open up to more collections as well. And Emblem's going to be open up to more chains in the near future as well. Think Base, Arbitrum, possibly Merlin Chain, and more. I know Solana's on that roadmap as well. Speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product on Solana called Agent Hustle. You can use Agent Hustle to help you get through the trenches of Solana. You can ask Hustle, hey, get me a couple of solid plays that are 2, 5, 10x in the Solana ecosystem. He'll bring back the information and why he thinks these are solid and safer plays. Also, he does conditional trading for you on your behalf. You can say, hey, buy Fartcoin when it drops, like right now, 70 cents, and sell it when it gets to $1. That's a 30% increase. And you can set that in for Hustle. He'll set it, and you can just forget it. He'll take care of it for you. Excuse me. Also, there's a lot of alpha groups that are forming around the Hustle product. So make sure you connect with them in their Discord. They're going to be on multiple different chains. Think EVM, think Solana, like I mentioned, and also possibly like the newer ones as well. So they have another product within the Hustle ecosystem called migrate.fund. And if you launched a token on Pump Fund or any launchpad and you want to migrate to another launchpad, you can do so through migrate.fund. They will guide you through it. You can get information from the Emblem team right now and try to get into that second cohort. The first cohort is about to wrap up. I believe there's about 21 projects that are going to be migrating. Super exciting stuff. This is tied into Hustle as well. And Hustle also has their subscription plan now that is applied to the Hustle platform. So we told you guys to try it out for free. There is a free version. It's just limited tool sets right now, but super excited for what this team is going to be doing with Agent Hustle in the future. Lastly, they have their parent company Emblem Founder Vault, which is their parent company token. It's a Bitcoin rune. If you go to OpenSea and you search Emblem Founder Vault keys, these will come up. You can purchase these. They are ERC 721, so Ethereum NFTs. But once Bitcoin gets to block 915,000, these will open up with a Bitcoin wallet and your private keys to that wallet in there with your Bitcoin rune. So really cool way that they're doing this. They're in a pre-sale environment right now. But like I said, block 915,000, which is right around the corner. So it's coming up soon. Head over to emblem.vision to learn about everything I just broke down there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to take leverage out on Bitcoin fungible tokens, you're going to be able to do so with Artura.finance in the near future. You're going to be able to trade Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Ordi, Sats, and then any other Bitcoin fungible that's popular and in demand that the community wants, right? Also, they're going to have synthetic derivatives as well, like Coinbase and MicroStrategy. So you're going to be able to trade stocks on Artura.finance. It's going to be really exciting once they add both of those tokens, features, or standards there. Also, you can earn points for their XP point system by making trades. they're live right now on Botanics, so you can earn points for the Artura.finance application as well as the Botanics chain. Botanics is tracking all the transactions via wallet addresses, so you can earn double points and double dip there. The most points that you can, the biggest multiplier, I should say, for the Artura.finance side is if you add liquidity to their vaults, but you can earn points by just making simple trades like Susie just did there. So really exciting stuff from this team. Every Tuesday we have the Artura Traders Edge show, episode 3 coming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you catch that. Head over to Artura.finance today. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for the best UI and UX. They support Bitcoin, Cardano, and now Sui. They're actually going through a series, kind of like they did with the Bitcoin side. It's called the Sui Sync, and you can actually catch their spaces and learn about the Sui ecosystem. A lot of the builders are merging Bitcoin and Sui together, so it's really cool to learn about the opportunities there. But they are building this for the best UI and UX for all users. You can trade for Bitcoin runes, you can trade for Cardano tokens, you can trade for Sui tokens. They have DEX aggregator partners with all 3 chains, and they're going to be expanding to more chains in the future, guys. Like I said, they're trying to be the number one-stop shop. Also, there's a YouTube section on their application where you can find our YouTube channel and other creators as well there. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, and if you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store. Download the application. Let us know what you think about it. They have live staking in the application as well. Head over to Tokyo.io to learn more today. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their Wizard 0.4, which actually I think they're renaming it to the 2.0 because it's a completely new AI engine that you're going to be able to trade cross-chain. You're going to be able to get wallet information from tokens that are outside of the Merlin ecosystem. You're able to do staking, all types of stuff with the Wizard 2.0. So make sure you check out the version 0.3 right now so you can get familiar with it, because once that's out, you want to use that to get an edge there. Also, if you want to be a part of the proof of stake security, there's 3 options. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin, and you get 16% on average APR there. That does close up September 30th, so the 30th of this month. Yeah, just know it's locked up until then. But really awesome product, in my opinion. There's a lot of interest coming from a lot of big places for this. I'll just leave that hint there. And then 2 other options is the Merlin Chain token. The first one is the day-to-day, which is a flexible option. You earn 15% APR. It is a day-to-day staking. You can claim your rewards every day and compound that if you want. If you do want to withdraw, you can withdraw on that day. It does take 7 days to kind of have a cool-off period, so just know that. The second option is a bonded option, which is a 6-month lockup period. You earn 45% APR, but again, you can claim your rewards every single day, and you can compound interest that as well. So definitely, in my opinion, I think this is a big opportunity. I think Merlin Chain is going to continually grow strong with its partnership ties. They are in the right places at the right time, in my opinion. So head over to merlinchain.io to learn more there. And then lastly, Ordinal Hive is the Ordinal aggregator marketplace. They have their live mint tomorrow. So make sure you're checking that out. I think it's 9 a.m. Is that correct, Eastern? I think
no, it's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday at 9. Yep.
Okay, Tuesday morning. Follow their X account so you can dive in a little bit deeper there. But they have an NFT or an ordinal collection there. It's going to be related to their Hive token. So just in the BRC 2.0, just make sure that you're following them on X so you can get all that information. BRC 2.0 seems to have a lot of utility tokens, guys. So just you want to pay attention to stuff like this. Ordinal Hive is the fastest ordinal marketplace. As soon as you sell your ordinal, you get it right away. They're working on getting that Bitcoin right away as well. So this is, in my opinion, you're super early to something like this. Head over to ordinalhive.io to learn more there, and then be ready for their mint, their ordinal mint, as well as their token launch information as well. And thank you guys so much for checking out our partners. We really appreciate it. It means a ton to us. You're on mute.
I forgot to do the wheel spin here, so let's do this real quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah, instead of saying unmute, just unmute me.
Oh shoot.
You always do that. When you do it, I just unmute you. Shout out to Kramer, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend.
Kramer.
I'll lock
What
you
a
in
time to come back in, right?
for the win. I got you. Let's give us another shuffle and spin again. Let's go. I walk alone. Congratulations to you, man.
Congrats.
Appreciate you. All right. Remove you. And then we'll spin it one last time. Seaman. Congratulations to you, my friend.
No.
I don't know any other way to say that besides Seaman.
No, there's a C afterwards, brother.
Seamicken?
Seamson.
All right, shout out to Seamson. I don't know, man. I thought the C was silent. But shout out to all you guys, man. I appreciate what you guys do. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. I mean, we were some of the earliest people to the Bitcoin ecosystem when BRC20s, the first BRC20s, were minting. So you guys can catch articles from all the way back then. They're all 3-4 minute reads. You can read them real quickly, and definitely get you caught up to what we are doing in the Bitcoin ecosystem and beyond. Now that we're on Chain Revolution, a lot of the stuff is some high stuff here. So definitely check it all out. If you guys need a VPN, I highly recommend Nord. We use it every single day. It's stupid not to. You can use stuff like Hyperliquid. You can use stuff potentially in the future, like the flying tool up and stuff like that. But a VPN, in my opinion, is very important to have. You don't want to go to these sites and just be giving your IP. That can lead to your home address. You don't want that. It was like when we were launching, Cronje, we were like, I don't want people like seeing my IP address. Well, if you have a VPN on, you can avoid all that. You can avoid every single thing with a VPN. You can put it to Italy, France, wherever you want to be in the world. You can show that you're there using a VPN. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And if you guys need merch for any event, just click the merch tab here. It'll take you to all the merch. You have shirts, hats, jackets, and much more here at onchainrevolution.io. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.